Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of How Did This Get Booked? I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning, and I'm a veteran of the professional wrestling business for over a decade, and I've held every single job except selling popcorn. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Zane Riley. How are you?
Did you forget my name?
No, I thought I said cohort. I thought I combined cohort.
You're still fucking it up.
I'm still fucking it up.
Are you having a stroke?
You know what? My brain, I feel jostled. I feel jostled from this wrestling weekend that I just had. I feel like my match on Friday was like 2 weeks ago, when really it was like 3 days ago. And I don't know. I just feel jostled. Like a car accident, I feel like would have been a little bit easier than what I've been through this past weekend. So,
well, all right.
So how was your weekend? Did you go through a car accident for real? Or literally or figuratively?
No, I drank a lot. I went to Charlotte Pride. It was awesome. And then Saturday night? Sunday night.
Okay.
I got really drunk. I ordered a pizza at 9:30. I woke up at 12:30.
AM or
and
PM?
It was AM. And it turns out I slept through the entire delivery. So this is who diet I'm working on, where I just order food and fall asleep before I can eat all of it.
Well, but you were asleep. So were you sleeping when you paid for the food?
Oh no, I paid for it up front.
Oh, okay.
And then
they just dropped it.
No. I never received a pizza.
Oh,
because I fell asleep.
Okay, it's been a while since I've been blackout, so I want to figure out where we're at.
Well, I remember everything quite vividly as in this whole fuck up. I was just real drunk and needed a nap, and I didn't get pizza. I was real excited about it, didn't get it.
Okay, well...
But I was so embarrassed that I didn't call back to be like, hey, you guys owe me a fucking pizza. So they got $30 for nothing, and somebody got a good pizza and some chicken wings that night.
There you go. Well, our lives are a mess and in shambles. But somebody who is a good Christian woman who is joining us here today.
She's shaking her head.
She's shaking her head violently. She's like, no, I ordered a pizza as well.
Yeah.
And I slept through it as well.
I delivered a pizza to this cocksucker that wouldn't come to the store. I could hear him snoring through the door.
We're joined by comedian Lauren Ansley. Laura, thank you so much. Lauren. No, I'm fucking up words. See, this is the problem.
And names.
Lauren.
You even asked her name before we started.
I did. I asked her name because that, you know what, my worst fear. Yeah, I introduced Mia Jackson as Maya Jackson, who just did Just for Laughs in Montreal. I introduced her the wrong name, and I've introduced your name a million times at the All Organic Open Mic. So
that's okay.
I am rolling right along on just the colossal fuck ups today.
Well, those concussions are catching up, man, Scout.
CTE is a motherfucker. But Lauren, how are you today?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much, Jake, for having me. How are you guys?
Holy shit! Well, you see, the other day I got blackout drunk and I went to Pride and I kissed a guy there, but that was nothing to do with anything. And I ordered a pizza.
Exploring the space.
I'm just touching everything that I can.
I fell off the top rope when I shouldn't have jumped on the top rope onto because of the trust fall, and trust is a hard thing for me to do.
Yeah, and that happens.
I feel jostled. I slept. I have water on the brain. I don't know. It's not good. So thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
But Lauren, I appreciate you coming in today, and you sent a message that a lot of people send where you're like, hey, I don't know a lot about pro wrestling. Are you sure you want me for this podcast? And I said, no, you're the exact person we want, because we have non-wrestling fans on this program. And before we get into the discussion of the show that I forced you to watch,
which I think you owe me an apology for, by the way.
I owe many people apologies, not just for messing up your name in the beginning. But before watching this show, what was your exposure to professional wrestling?
Well, I had a boyfriend who was really into wrestling, and not just with me, haha, but it's going to be a lot of those, I'm afraid.
Good.
That's actually all he does on the podcast. He just gives drum rolls.
It's like in Wayne's World where they have Howlin' Dan, or was it Handsome Dan and the Howlin' Man? I just do that the whole time.
Yeah, that's what he contributes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But his favorite wrestler was Stone Cold. So I had to have a favorite wrestler. Just like football teams, you have to have your favorite team. And my favorite wrestler was Kane.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's an interesting one to go for.
Well, he was tall. He was like 7 foot tall, right?
Yeah.
Or they said he was.
Yeah, he's close to that. Yeah. For sure.
And so I'm like 6'7" tall. Mm-hmm. practically, that's what I look like. No, I'm like 5'13". That's what I say.
Yes.
But no, I just liked him because he was tall.
That's it.
Had a cool mask. Undertaker's brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Careful, you're getting too knowledgeable.
You at least know the Taker family tree. So.
But that's all I know.
Well, here's a follow-up question. Do you know who Kane's father was, storyline-wise?
No.
Oh, she's not a super fan then.
No.
She doesn't know.
Who was his dad?
Paul Bearer was.
He would have been.
Yeah.
He would have been Undertaker's
like a Paul
manager.
Bearer.
Yeah, exactly. He was the Undertaker's manager.
Okay.
His brother.
Okay.
So somebody wasn't paying complete attention to 1997 wrestling. So that's kind of sad. But that's why you're here. We need you to have somebody who's a noob, a greenhorn. Anything else, other exposure to professional wrestling you in mainstream media? Like, have you seen any of the Rock's movies? Like, what do you...
Oh, yeah. I've seen the Rock's movies. I think he's an excellent role model. I saw one movie where he was the superhero. Not a superhero, but the hero of the show. And he and his divorced wife ended up, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, I don't know what it's called, but they get back together at the end after he resuscitates his daughter back to life after she drowned in like a major earthquake situation.
Oh, is that the San Andreas one?
San Andreas Fault, or yeah, something like that.
The big earthquake movie.
Excellent movie.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So that movie.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why somebody would get divorced to The Rock, you know? Like,
no kidding.
Hang on to that.
When do I get my shot?
Exactly. Or at least pop out a kid if you're going to...
Please, I'll put a baby in The Rock. I don't care. Or reverse. I don't care.
Reverse.
Whatever.
Open to it. But let's get into discussion of this show that we all watch on right up top. But before, as always, I have to give a little bit of information at the beginning. The show that we are watching and discussing today, or we watched and we are discussing today, is the promotion WWA. The show is called The Revolution. It took place on February 24th, 2002 in Las Vegas, Nevada. At the Aladdin Casino Center, the attendance for the show was 2,800 people. This is actually the second pay-per-view offering for WWA, and is the first and only one that took place in the United States. The first one took place in Sydney, Australia, in front of a crowd of 8,500 people.
Jesus shit.
So quite a big drop-off. The promoter of the WWA is Andrew McManus, who is a world-famous Australian concert promoter, and decided to throw his hat into professional wrestling once WCW closed and ECW closed. There was this vacuum in professional wrestling, a bunch of TV-ready talent that had no place to go, and they were just bumbling around, and Andrew McManus thought he could be McMahon. So, like, you know, there could be two Micks in the world of professional wrestling. And this would be his first offering in the United States. Actually, advertised for the show was Hall and Nash, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, but they re-signed with WWE shortly before the show. So that reunion didn't happen. Also, too, it was in the main event was supposed to be Randy Macho Man Savage taking on Jeff Jarrett, but
Space Cowboy. What'd they call him?
The Space Cowboy. Yes.
I don't even remember him being called that.
I don't know if that was like a later
Must have been after his rap album.
Yeah, so I you know, when looking at, and I guess like it wasn't notified till like the night before the show, so some of the pre-show stuff, they had just a red X over top of Macho Man's like face on the graphic. Also, Road Dogg no-showed. So, you know, I think coming into the show, that paints kind of how people feel about the shows. They feel like they were ripped off by it. But overall, I think it's not that bad of a show.
It's a really good show.
It's actually a pretty decent show considering.
And there was a midget.
But there were two. There were two.
But it does have its flaws, and we'll get to that right away. But I feel like that information is probably why when people look at this, they're like, "Oh, this is awful." Because when I looked it up, because they have several offerings, and I want to find the worst one, and this seemed like the worst one. But I think most of these problems were in the promotion ahead of time. It seemed, and obviously, when you almost draw 10,000 people in Sydney, Australia, and actually, I believe the third one was several thousand as well. So this is like the one stinker attendance-wise in the whole lineage of WWA. But I remember being very short-lived. So, but it does have its problems. Probably most notably, it starts off with a musical act and very shitty promotion, even for 2002 video-wise, I must say. Like,
At first I was like, is this fucking Creed? They've got Creed here?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I think I heard that they mentioned later in the show that Tantric opened the show.
Yeah, that was Tantric.
So I'm thinking this is
a bigger hit later on.
Yes, like this is early. It's funny. You start off with Tantric, that's going to become a big hit later, and you're starting off with all these guys in the opening match that are going to be big hits later. So,
which full circle they say later when they talk about it being Tantric, they were on tour with Creed at the time.
There we go. Which is weird. If you're Creed, why do you want somebody who has a lead singer who looks exactly like
just the fuck like him? It was creepy.
Maybe because everybody knew that Scott Stapp was going to crash and burn someday. Like, hey, we'll just pull the lead singer over from Tantric, and nobody will be the wiser.
When he dies, we'll just recruit this guy.
Big fan of Creed, Lauren?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just so
Is that a band?
Yes. And a movie as well. It's a movie as well.
Great.
So.
Oh,
how about that?
Scott Stapp in both.
All right, let's get into the discussion of the show. We're going to start with match number 1, which was weirdly named Six-Way Cruiserweight Survival Elimination. I don't know. It had 18 words to describe this, which features Nova versus Shark Boy versus Low Key versus Tony Mamaluke versus the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles. Lauren, from the limited knowledge that you know about professional wrestling,
Kane.
Yeah, other than Kane, what are your thoughts on this match? Does this stack up to the level of in-ring work that you saw and come to love with Kane? Is it equal to, better than, less than? How do you feel about it?
I guess I was just struck by how much pandemonium there was throughout the entire match.
Okay.
Tagging in, tagging out, multiple guys. I just got all these flashbacks from prom night.
We booked a comedian, ladies.
Guys.
But seriously.
Prom night.
I was a little bit surprised at how much they were talking about Nova being a fine businessman. Like, I guess maybe he changed his look or something.
Yeah, they went business-like, not a cartoon character
he's no
anymore.
longer a cartoon character.
Yeah.
They said they didn't just he's all business now. No, they said the line business-like, not a cartoon character anymore. They said that phrase multiple times.
And in my full-time job, I work in business.
You're a cartoon character?
I'm not anymore. Okay. I also made the switch. But
her manager says it all the time.
Yep.
It's very business-like.
The person that commentates your life constantly says it.
But I don't know. I haven't been in many board meetings where khaki pants, the ponytail, and no shirt equals business-like.
But he was sipping coffee the whole time.
Was he?
Yeah. He even says it. Look, he's drinking coffee on the apron. Because he is a businessman. No longer a cartoon character. And then it gets knocked out of his hand and he gets real mad.
Oh, yeah. Loki was not happy that he was drinking coffee. No. Loki wasn't happy about a lot of things that are happening, I'm sure.
He's never happy.
I know. But what else did you find, or you could shine or glean from this match?
I liked Shark Boy.
Okay.
I like his whole fin hand on his head fin thing that he did. But I do have to say, when they introduced them, one of the guys was introduced in liquid ounces, and I can only imagine that Shark Boy was disappointed that he was not introduced in liquid ounces.
Yeah, he was from Leagues Under the Sea. Mama Luke was, for some reason, done in liquid ounces. I don't know. I don't get that.
Other than he drinks a lot, I
maybe,
guess.
or maybe the guy just fucked up, and that should have also been Shark Boy's thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, well, Shark Boy's always been 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah, that's where he's from. But he would weigh in
yes,
liquid ounces.
You're right. That would make some sense.
So I saw a little wrinkle in the fabric there of the story. So I just wanted to bring that to light.
Twin Mama Lou's like, I'm a fish too, motherfucker. I do fish stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, but this also very there was just random pyro, nobody really editing music, very blah intro.
Not to mention it was long as fuck.
And then the rules are very weird. Like, they were very, particular about who was in, but then they didn't care all of a sudden. Like, they floated in and out of being super strict about the rules, then not strict about it at all. And it's very weird, like, seeing Six Ways now. Like, kind of, as we know, the formula for multi-man matches, where it starts off schmaz, shine spot, dives, something that requires you a super kick party, slap of the leg spot, falsy, falsy finish.
Yeah, shotgun time.
Yeah, shotgun time. Where this is like there's tags, there's slow moving, it's paced a little bit slower. Like it's funny even seeing what's innovative at that time, how far we've even evolved.
Yeah.
Even at this level, but yeah.
This is like the beginning of how insanely creepy, and this is a commentator from the New Blood Rising show that I fucking hate.
Mark Madden.
He is just super creepy, talking about all the broads he had at the chicken ranch.
6-way at the chicken ranch.
Yeah.
That was
cost
the
him
next thing.
$1,500 to have a 6-way at the chicken ranch, and all these hookers he was getting, and he's a big old piece of shit.
Oh yeah, I think I've got something else on my notes about him being an even bigger shit, but we'll get to it when we get there.
I don't even own 6 bras. That's a lot.
Bras are expensive.
They are.
My girlfriend buys them once a year.
Take care of them. Yeah.
You gotta take care of them. It's a big deal. But yeah, and there's like elimination too, like just a lot going on.
Yeah,
a lot going on in this match. But we get to see AJ Styles, who's now a big star in WWE,
champion, I believe.
Yeah, I think he still
the
is.
U.S. champion.
Yeah, I don't know. It might not be the one that we
knows?
this or whatever. Who knows? But low key, I think he just dropped the X Division title and stuff like that. So
killed Caleb almost the other day.
Yeah. So he's still killing people. Like, But really, Shark Boy and Nova, they all had their runs later on and did their things.
Shark Boy, whose character he is Stone Cold Steve Austin, but a shark.
He is.
That's what it is. Not like that's what his character is. Like he does everything.
At least now, he had this whole thing where he got hit on the head, and then he woke up from his concussion and thought he was Stone Cold Steve Austin. So he was in the Shark Boy outfit, doing an impersonation of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Interesting. That's like layered character development. I'm impressed.
Shell, yeah.
Since I know you're a fan of Kane, I knew you would respect that because of the amount of layers that are in Shark Boy's character. So,
like an onion.
And also too, mask guy as well.
There you go.
He was my favorite.
Second favorite wrestler now is Shark Boy.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what we're doing. We're making fans on this podcast.
Or enemies.
Either or. Let's see. I think they randomly go over the card after that, and then we have the Bret Hart promo, which feels like a promo that would happen on like a big time wrestling or Northeast wrestling show.
What the fuck was this promo?
I don't know what this was. But he's the commissioner, because this was another big thing that used to happen a lot in the early 2000s. You would bring a big name in, and they were the commissioner for the night, or they would be the whatever. But yeah, just a very odd promo where he talks about Canadian hockey team winning the gold medal for the Olympics that year.
Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, because it is just very soon.
Bret Hart is my favorite wrestler, and even I was like, shut the fuck up. Go away. Talking about all of us here in Australia and Canada wept with you, America, and we really hope you guys get your hands on Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, I couldn't rap. But I want to be like, it's like, well, don't you mean Saddam Hussein? Because that's who we have to get through next. Like, was this the beginning of like Colin Powell and the Bush administration, like swaying everybody? Like, Brett, you're supposed to like say Saddam Hussein, because we get him first. Like,
Bret Hart knew the payoff.
Yeah,
he was the original Bruce Willis.
Exactly. But yeah, and the song he come out to is just super fucking weird, like just. Yeah, it's just really odd. And you can tell Brett is trying really hard not to say WWF.
Yeah, everyone is. Yeah. Like the whole time.
Yeah, I think that's another problem is fighting that so much. But what were your thoughts on seeing this? Because Bret Hart is a legend. What were your thoughts on what the fuck is going on here? Because you have no context of who this guy is.
I don't even know what a commissioner is.
Okay.
So, but he had some nice hair.
Okay.
That he was flipping. So... Yeah. That was what I took from it.
Well, he's still flipping his hair today.
So there's good beauty product in Canada that you can get for your hair, and you can have that.
But yeah, it's just very weird. Like it's like Brett, go just say something.
I need you to kill 15 fucking minutes. Would you just go out there and maybe make a match at some point? I don't know. Road Dogg's not even here yet. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Oh, well, he was the guy that told everybody that Macho Man Randy Savage is in there.
Space Cowboy.
He's the guy that had to take the bullet.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that
Not who and Bret Hart.
Yeah, and that's kind of what some people do is they let people know that.
And what a real anticlimactic announcement as far as So, Brian Christopher's a guy.
He's a second generation guy. I'm partial to the second generation guy, so I'm just gonna put him in the title match.
Jeez, what a build up, Brett.
Fuck. But
By the way, he's gonna lose probably, but whatever.
But really, how can you no offense to Brian Christopher? How do you polish that turn? How do you go from Macho Man Randy Savage to Brian Christopher?
He can do the worm. Can you?
Yeah. No, that was the other guy. Remember?
No, damn it. It was Scotty Too Hottie.
It was Scotty Too. Fuck. But anyways, after that promo, we get to a backstage vignette promo with the Funkster and T.O. and Puppet. Two very famous midgets.
I've wrestled Puppet.
Have you now?
Yes.
I was going to say, I thought you had some sort of connection to Puppet.
I do have multiple times.
Okay.
Wrestled him once, and then every time there is the Midget Mayhem shows around town, he's like the lead midget. And that
Puppet?
You mean, I'm sure you can try hard. But, yeah, he's the leader of all that. Mm-hmm. Nice guy. Always talks about how he's not a midget, he's a dwarf because his dick's so fucking big. It's weird. Talks about how first he gives you a science lesson of like dwarves are unproportionate people, whereas midgets are proportionate to themselves. He says, "I'm a dwarf, my dick's so big." It's real weird. But yeah, so it's Puppet.
Okay,
it's a Puppet I know. Big dick.
I think in T.O., I want to say T.O. he's son of Lord Littlebrook, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
I think so. I think him and somebody else are like Lord Littlebrook's kid.
By the way, old midget wrestlers had really awesome names.
Yeah.
Like Lord Littlebrook.
Lord Littlebrook.
Sky Lolo.
Little Beaver.
Little Beaver, was an Indian.
Yeah, he was awesome too. So, but we get our first taste of the Funkster, which he will then go out for match number 2, Alan Funk versus Reno. Lauren, what are your thoughts?
Well, Reno is actually from Las Vegas, so that's all kinds of confusing.
Layers, which you love. You love layers in character development. Layers.
Yes.
If he was wearing a mask, third best wrestler.
Yep.
It's like a tasty parfait.
Nobody say I don't like damn parfait.
But
Make Shrek references here.
So, the Hulk. I'm sorry, not the Hulkster.
No.
Excuse me.
Fucking up.
The Funkster.
You're just as good as Jeremy Borash.
Yeah, the announcer actually called him the Hulkster at one point, and he said, "Wait, what did I say?" Because the other guy called him out on it. So he's what, like 70? Has he retired to be a leather handbag yet?
No.
He's still wrestling?
He's still wrestling.
Good
Alan
for
Funk
him.
is still around.
He's
wrestling.
a buff dude.
He looks fantastic. Probably looks better or just as good as he does right there. And this is obviously, 15 years ago. So like,
is he still Hulk Hogan?
No, he was
back to Terry Funk.
He was Kiwi for a while for Lucha Libre USA. And then I think he's back to just being Alan Funk. But if you remember, I think this is a few years before he had the horrific accident where Sonny Siaki did the split leg moonsault onto him, and his knee crushed his orbital bone. And like his eye popped out, and it was like really disturbing. Really
Special effects eye.
Real eye.
Like real eye.
Oh. We're not that good in wrestling where we get to get special effects in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it was use your real eye sometimes.
Wow.
It was pretty horrific, and you can kind of still see it's a little messed up.
Did he keep wrestling? Or did he...
Oh yeah.
Dang.
Just pop right back in.
But there was a dangerous moment in this match. There was like a face-first body slam that was real weird. Like, I don't know if that was like supposed to be a move or what that was supposed to be. Like,
when the Funkster was thrown on his head?
Yeah, it was like he just had him up, and instead of like turning him, he just flung him.
Ugh.
Like that was weird. But
my favorite part is Reno's gear, where it's just a big ball of flames at his dick. That was real good, very Kane-esque. Mm-hmm. He was in that tag team in WCW, wasn't he? What him and like Big Vito or something?
Yeah. And that
sucked then too. So what? He ain't listening.
Probably not. Anything else to say about this match before we move on? Because we have to move on to this backstage segment where a limo shows up and Scott Steiner comes out with all these ladies, because that's what we do in early 2000s wrestling is just...
Six bras right there.
These 6 hookers and put them in this limo.
Yeah. Also,
You want to switch seats? I'll run this thing if you want.
Please, can I just be the funny guy?
Yeah, just all you gotta do is every once in a while.
Listen, I've been trying to be the funny guy in this podcast. I'm dealing with the audio board right now. I'm trying to remember people's names. I'm trying to moderate this conversation. Well, I just want to sit back and be the funny guy. Can I just be the funny guy?
Just want to tap on the table a few times.
All right, I'm just trying to moderate. I'm just trying to make sure we're still recording. And I'm probably downloading and uploading something at the same time.
There you
so
go.
My brain is shot. But Disco Inferno joins Jeremy Borash and Mark Madden on commentary. Mark Madden does get a little good joke off and says, "Is that the Washington Monument on your face?"
Body shaming son of a bitch.
Yes, because Mark Madden is definitely not above that. But I did like, right before they threw it to the announcer, Jeremy Borash just as calmly and as coolly as possible looks directly at Disco Inferno. And with the most genuine look in his face, he looks right at him and goes, "I don't like you." I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
I didn't know this was on. I was going to tell you.
That's the thing. I don't know. I think Jeremy Borash is a nice enough person that he likes everybody, but I don't know.
For Disco Inferno.
That feels like I was very genuine. So
Disco Inferno is my favorite part of this entire show.
Is he now?
Yeah.
I will say this on commentary. He was pretty
fantastic.
Inspired. We're gonna get to probably the best part here coming up real soon, but we have to talk about match number 3, where we see Native Blood taking on Chronic. Now this match is notably known as being what people cite as one of the worst parts of the show was this match. Yeah. But I feel like this is just a typical Chronic match.
Yeah.
This is just after they'd been released for WWE. This is after they just had the run with your boy Kane and Undertaker. And Undertaker and Kane were very displeased with the quality of work that Chronic brought to the table, and they were sent to developmental after being in the business for almost 2 decades. And they're like, screw this. We can make all kinds of money at the WWA. So what are your thoughts on this tag team match that we see with Native Blood versus Chronic, Lauren?
Well, there was a lot of screaming and a lot of chest slapping, which also reminded me of prom night. I thought that Chronic of the entire evening had the best outfits. I think they were going for a barbed wire look, but it looked kind of like silver dragonflies and stars. They were really pretty. They were really pretty. And one of the Chronic guys had a romper before rompers were cool for guys.
Trendsetters in Chronic.
Yeah,
exactly.
I liked it.
You liked it? You dug Chronic.
I did.
She loves the Chronic.
She loves the Chronic because you know what people love about Chronic's matches? All the Chronic puns.
Oh yeah, and they come chronically.
Yeah. Because everybody loves the Chronic.
Everyone loves the Chronic, and not ironically.
Yeah. Disco.
You forgot your top hat.
There it is.
I'm going from that one, guys. This is another edition of How This Get Booked.
But yeah, this is basically a squash match, basically. But I did like Disco. He made mention, talk about Native Blood, ask if these were the Young Bloods, or the Strongbows, or the Mulkeys.
Because they're all related, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just hilarious in a sense. But this was something that people Chronic was wasted. But really, Chronic's not going to do any more than this anyways. They just need something to bump for them. This is a spot that you and I would have had on the show.
Yeah. Totally. Except I wouldn't have caught you when that son of a bitch threw you over the top rope.
No.
Bye, buddy.
Yeah.
Nope. How about we don't, guys?
Mm-hmm. I would have just had to take a nice little roll.
Or the last time you tried to catch me, where you're just kind of meh.
Listen, I told you in advance.
You did. You really did. You're real nice of you.
I told you I was slowing you down. Catching is a lot to ask.
I know.
Okay?
I appreciate it.
But, this match just kind of happened, but people...
Yeah. Real racist names, real racist characters.
Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, it's full of Chronic puns, and it was basically a squash. What more do you fucking expect? Anyways, go to backstage statement with... promo segment with Terry Taylor, with Puppet. Then we go to the fake Nitro Girls. Once again, sorry, Lauren.
Yeah, you felt real out of place. Or maybe you're welcome. I don't know what prom was like for you after the first two
Did
moments.
3 girls come out and dance after all those guys tagged in and out and beat their chest and yelled?
Just trying to make it better. Maybe this will make her feel better if we just dance for her.
I never wrestle and tell.
If we dance for you, will you stop crying, please?
The constant... objectification of women.
There you go.
And the announcer said something. They said something like, well, the 15 minutes of rehearsal is paid off, or something like that. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
They were making fun of the girls'
Yeah.
dance moves.
Yeah.
He's fucking Jeremy Borash was wearing a puka shell necklace. Who is he to pass judgment?
No shit. Like, he got super into how fucking Lance Bass and Justin Timberlake looked at that time in the 2000s. He's very like, that's my look. You looked at that, like, that's how I'm going to look at it.
Lance Bass, he probably slays vagina.
Yes. Which hence...
He's the gay one, guys.
Which also, too, he probably...
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, I guess the dude said it. It's totally
Because that's also
Sunday.
an early 2000 reference as well.
Yeah.
So, like, but also, too, I think he had to dye his hair bleach blonde because I don't think he's that blonde naturally.
Like orangish hair, more
Which,
so.
that's why I'm bald, is because I used to dye my hair like that. So I'm pretty sure that's
Back in your boy band days?
I was going for probably more Wolfie D and didn't even realize it. I
Nah.
had tiger stripes in my hair, and then I did the Scott Steiner thing.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I was not popular with the ladies. My prom night was not as good as Lauren's.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
I don't think anyone's was. 5 dudes and 3 dancers? Jesus. It's a penthouse letter.
Yeah, I think, but I probably did say the 15 minutes of rehearsal paid off. But that's, like...
What do you do with those other 10 minutes, guys?
Yeah, exactly. Well, now we got to get on to what isn't even listed or considered as match number 4, according to Wikipedia. But I consider it match number 4, where Puppet takes on Tio in an impromptu match.
And one of the best matches on the show?
Yes, and also, too, some of the best fucking lines by these commentators. And this is also, too, they kept, like, live, putting the commentators on the live microphone for the audience.
This was the first time for that, though, wasn't it?
For the audience during the match,
yes.
Because... But during, when they were going over the card, they went live. Between the matches, they would turn them to the live crowd.
But then turn the commentary off during the matches.
But
here,
they
like all midget shows have live commentary. I think that's part of their deal.
So many short jokes.
You couldn't do that today.
No.
You couldn't do that 15 years later.
No, and we're not even supposed to say midget.
No.
You know?
We're probably going to get flagged with something inappropriate.
Some people say it's as bad as the N-word, but if you remember the John Mulaney bit, that is not the case.
Because one of you said midget and the other said the N-word.
Yes, exactly. So it's not as bad. But, Lauren, what were your thoughts?
I just thought that the match was shorter than I was expecting.
BAM! Boom! They got one more in!
Now, I was real upset that Disco Inferno didn't wrestle these guys.
Yes.
So this would have been the perfect place for the open challenge to be done. And he could have wrestled them both because if you stack them on top of one another, they're only one person.
Yes. Yeah, and then you could have Scott Steiner come out.
And then you just kill everybody at the end.
Exactly, because that's
I'd rather see...
That's all we're trying to get to is Scott Steiner killing somebody. That's all we're trying to get to. But in the meantime, we got to talk about how buy rates will go up if a midget dies.
Midget dies.
I think one
stop! Don't stop!
Then there's one line where like we might have to cremate one of them, and then like, but don't worry, I got a Bic lighter.
Yeah,
was the line. Gosh.
We don't need a body bag. I've got a baggie.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We won't see that man. Oh, we won't see that man make any cookies in a tree anymore. Like, that was a good one.
I feel like they just wrote a bunch of liners for, okay guys, when the midget match happens.
These are all the one-liners. Like, I hope they still fit in the Teletubby outfits.
Yeah.
Like
although the Teletubbies are like 6 feet.
Yeah.
So
they're freakishly tall.
Unless there's 2 again stacked on each other.
I thought that was a
God, but then you have to have 8 midgets to do the whole show, and then you gotta get a union involved. That'd just be too much.
It's just too much. But anyways, speaking of too much, we have Scott Steiner coming out. Lauren, what are your thoughts on Scott Steiner? Like, when you see a man like that?
Is that Big Papa Pump?
Yes. The big bad booty daddy, that's him.
He was mean. he threw those little guys like mini javelins. Just tossed him right out of the ring.
Yes, correct assessment. Matter of fact, anytime anybody loses it and goes crazy, they like, oh, what are you going all Scott Steiner on him for? Like, he is like a verb. You go Scott Steiner on somebody.
He's an analogy these days.
Exactly. When I cursed in front of George South today, he said, oh, you just got a little bit like Scott Steiner. that is what's known as losing it.
Stand out.
Exactly. But yeah, we just want to see Scott Steiner throw a little person around. Also, too, I noticed behind the commentators, Tenzan, I believe his first name is Hiroshi Tenzan, if I'm not mistaken, a New Japan star, is sitting there at ringside just randomly. One of the best workers at that time is just hanging out at ringside, just watching Scott Steiner beat the shit out of a midget, and then eventually Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
Because in a match that I labeled as Match 4B, I'm guessing, a match where there was no ref, but Wikipedia counts it as a match, when really the midget match...
But these midgets don't get a match. They don't get...
But the midgets had a ref.
Midgets.
The midgets had a ref, but this match didn't have a ref, but it's considered a match according to Wikipedia.
Just super biased.
Very much so. That is something to complain about.
Yeah, put that on a t-shirt.
Exactly. Disco Inferno. Also, there was a second where it felt like they broke the ring announcer's microphone.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
And like,
ladies and gentlemen.
We can clearly hear you, buddy. Like, somebody should have told them, like, it's working. But yeah, Scott Steiner beats the shit out of Disco Inferno, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Anybody got any comments about that? Did I sum it up
What
properly?
are the rules for steroids in wrestling?
Forum.
Okay.
Especially then.
See?
At WWA, yes. Do it.
Yeah. There are some promotions where it just...
The more the gooder.
Yes. Please, go right ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody's getting... USADA is definitely not overseeing the WWA. That is something for sure.
You can't have freaks and peaks without all those steroids.
This is true. Although Scott Steiner will attest that he does not take steroids, he just never misses a day of training.
Oh, of course. The guy brought him a cake at the last show that I saw him at, so... Training on that cake.
Match number 5. Juventud Guerrero versus Eddie Guerrero versus Psychosis for the shittiest belt ever. Great match.
Yeah.
I dug it. 3-way match. It wasn't as many 6, so it was only like half a prom night for you, Lauren.
So
but did you still enjoy it?
It's like the meal before.
I'm just kidding. It was climatic.
It was cool.
Everyone climax. Wait a minute. Hold on.
But any thoughts on this match?
I thought that the Hubba Bubba Guerrero guy, he had the best outfit.
Okay.
Don't you
Keeping
agree?
his fashion sense forward.
Yeah,
The juice.
they really showed off his glutes. Don't you agree, Jake?
I totally agree.
Yeah, I like that.
1,000% sure.
I thought that Eddie Guerrero looked like a jacked up Joe Dirt. Not a fan of the hair.
Okay.
Not a fan of the
He
hair.
rocked that mullet the day he died.
Darn right he did.
But Psychosis had the best wife beater.
He looked like an ass comparatively.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm not even wearing the mask. I'm just gonna put this wife beater on. I'm good, man. These are jeans. They're fine. Got these at Walmart. They're nice. They're Wrangler.
Yeah, I think a solid match.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they would have got Rey Mysterio for this match because it would be... Because Rey had an extensive feud with Hoovy. He also had extensive feuds with Psychosis. Like, that match would have been off the change. But, of course, when you have someone like Eddie running the show there, like, you can't complain. I loved every bit of it. Enjoyed it. Probably the best match on the show.
Oh, of course.
I would say.
I hated when Jerry Lynn came out, though. It was just... I hate his promos. He sounded real awkward. He said biatch.
He's using a lot of early 2000s lines. That's the danger when you use pop culture references. It really stands out. Like, I still have a memory of Jerry the King Lawler on Memphis television bringing up the TV movie The Day After Tomorrow when it was promos. Like, it's burned in my memory. Like, I don't know why. Like, it's just. I just think about like Jerry Lawler would do that a lot on Memphis television, and sometimes he would say a line and the crowd would react. I'm like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. This is 1982. No, I was 1.
No clue.
No clue.
I was still in a nutsack, so I don't know what you're saying right now.
Don't know what that
Speaking of nutsacks,
yes,
I do have another comment about this.
Please.
So the announcer said that Eddie Guerrero got a kick to the lower extremities, like they can't say nuts. But then later in the same match, they say that there was a double chalupa buster. So I don't know what the rules are as far as if you can say nuts, you can't say nuts, but you can say double chalupa buster because that's better than kick to the nuts. Any rules?
You can say racial epithets, but you can't talk about testicles. It's in the book.
Okay.
Like, dear God, do not say WWF. Just say WWA.
Yeah.
And if you say Hulkster, play it off. It was a joke. Okay?
But at some point, I think they say fuck earlier. So, I mean...
Yeah, like...
Bret Hart almost says fuck. He even goes, fuck.
Yeah, there was a little awkwardness there. It was also kind of awkward when Jerry Lynn dropped a church lady catchphrase. Did you hear that? She goes, isn't that special?
Oh.
He said that, and that is even dated for 2002. Okay, like
that was in the 90s.
I love Jerry Lynn. Don't get me wrong. I love him, and I love the altercation once they start hitting each other. But it is a little weird because I think Eddie's kind of being kind of heelish.
Heel, and then here's Jerry
but I think
Lynn.
He's just doing that because the crowd kind of turned on him a little bit, and he's just like, fuck you, I'm Eddie Guerrero.
Do what the fuck I want, essays.
Pretty much. But
Essay homie, he said that one time. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? It's a double positive.
Yeah. But this is also a surprise because Jerry Lynn had just gotten released. So this was he'd just gotten released from WWF, not WWA. And this altercation was to set up for a match that never happened because Eddie left before they could ever have this match in WWA. So this whole thing just kind of sets up to something that never happens.
Oh, wow. That's disappointing.
That's one of the problems with like this era, like, you know, people jumping around, nobody has exclusive contracts, you're coming in because these guys just see it as a show where Andrew McManus is saying this, I'm taking over Vince and these guys are on my roster. Mm-hmm. They see it, I'm just here until Vince calls me. And that's kind of really what happened with Eddie. But Eddie would kind of been on sabbatical because he just, you know, gone through his own personal demons and stuff like that, which he was battling, and this is him on the upward swing of everything like that. But then I had to look up like how many times that Jerry Lynn and Eddie actually wrestled, because I would consider Jerry Lynn at this point, like in ring, like he's at peak form. Like this is him in his prime, and I feel like this is Eddie very much in his prime. This is when he's the best of everything, the best of being a cruiserweight, but also being the best, very close to being a top main event guy. And really, the only time that Eddie and Jerry Lynn ever locked up was they did a WCW Saturday Night match when Jerry Lynn was Mr. JL. They also did a couple house show matches against each other when Jerry Lynn was the WWF Light Heavyweight Champion. Also, too, they were involved in a 6-man tag match involving the Hardys and the Radicals. So that was basically just about it that they ever wrestled. So I think it's kind of a shame that we never got to see 2002 Jerry Lynn wrestle 2002 Eddie Guerrero. I would have loved to have seen that. I think that could change wrestling. So,
and if you recall from the only other podcast of ours you listened to, Eddie Guerrero's dead.
Yeah. So that match definitely didn't happen. So.
Demons got him.
Oh,
should have been a Ghostbuster. Lane's not listening.
All right, then we get to the starlets again. I believe is what we're calling these dancers. They're dancing to a Jennifer Lopez song, which is popular this time, which makes me wonder. Brings up that you can't say nuts or testicles on here. We can't say WWA because we have to be careful saying WWA. It could be not WWF. We can't say Hulkster. All these things, but we can use a Jennifer Lopez song on pay-per-view. Like,
I'm not sure that you could legally. I'm just sure that he did.
But even like on a replay here, like the distribution, like this is a replay of it. Like you think it would have been taken out by the stream that we saw, but like. I
thought someone just recorded them watching it, because at the beginning of this whole thing, it looks like people are walking in front of the screen.
Yeah,
I thought someone just recorded them the pay-per-view.
Oh,
with a camera.
Yours may have been
okay.
Because let me tell you where you could watch this thing also too. Since we're halfway through, where you could watch this thing. Fuck it. The link I gave you guys was on YouTube, and anybody that visited our site could see it on YouTube, but it's also available on the High Spots Wrestling Network and it's posted on there by something that's shared from another page on Pivot Share. Somebody purchased the rights to WWA's film library.
All 4 of them.
Yeah, pretty much. And even though it's everywhere illegally, they purchased the rights and they are selling it through High Spots. So if you're on the High Spots Wrestling Network, you can watch the show. But also, too, if you have a YouTube account, you can see it. Or don't have a YouTube account, you can just see it. You can just YouTube it. So
it's free, fuck it.
Exactly.
Just do it.
Exactly. And you can see such glorious matches as match number 6, where we see Devon Storm taking on Sabu.
Goddamn, speaking about going fucking forever.
Yeah, this seems to go for a while. And then, of course, Sabu jumps off of the entranceway. But I gotta say, Sabu was on point with everything. For the most part, this is a pretty good Sabu match.
So for that dive where he just went straight down on his fucking head.
Yeah, but that's typical Sabu.
It's just Sabu shit.
But Lauren, what are your thoughts on this match?
Well, Sabu definitely had the best pants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They were a mix between Genie and MC Hammer pants.
Mm-hmm.
And actually,
that's kind of a mixture of his girlfriend right now. A Genie and MC Hammer.
Yeah.
But I actually went to a trivia night recently, and they were talking about the Genie from Aladdin, from, the cartoon. His pants were actually modeled after MC Hammer. Little trivia.
Wow.
For everybody. Okay. So it all comes together with Sabu.
Oh, there it is.
So he was ahead of his time.
He sure was.
Yeah.
Man, MC Hammer was even... Oh, fuck, I forgot the word. I already fucked it up. Never
Influential.
Mind. Relevant?
Yeah. No, he's still relevant, sweetheart. Calm the fuck down. He'll get kicked off this podcast. This shit's not even live. He'll be gone. Loved MC Hammer. Influential in Arabian Nights.
Yeah.
There we go. Got it out. It's awful still.
Yeah. And how about that? I was the one that fed you a word, and I've been awful with words.
Right?
Okay.
You're rubbing off on me. I'm getting dumber.
But yeah, pretty good. Also, Sabu bled through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how does that work? Is that real blood?
Oh yeah, that's real blood.
Compared to what?
Like ketchup or
No.
a capsule?
Everything you hear about fake blood is not true. It's real blood. Yeah. How we get it is pretty turd.
Yes. Which, have you noticed, after he starts to get the blood, he's fucking around in his pants line?
Yeah.
He's probably putting the blade back or hiding the blade that was
Oh,
there.
no.
Do you think I thought it was more of a hard way thing. I don't think it was intentional.
Well, I know it's like, because as soon as that happens, when he fucking landed on his fucking face on the ground.
Okay.
And that's when it started bleeding.
I thought it was like hard way to get busted open some way somehow because it was Sabu.
I thought it was weird that they didn't recognize his bleeding until that one moment, and he's fucking around with his pants line.
Okay.
So
Well, he's always fucking with his
He's
shit.
just face my dick, man.
Yeah, like him.
My dick's still there. Okay, let's keep going.
Him and Davey Boy Smith were always messing with their gear, like always. Also, too, in the table spot on the entranceway, you can see Nick Bockwinkel kind of peek through the curtain a little bit. I caught that. Nick Bockwinkel, a resident of Las Vegas, Nevada. Just to let you know. But then after that, we get to a very homophobic, homoerotic.
Homoerotic would be
more like it. Backstage segment with Lodi and Lenny, where he's sewing up his pants, and then he has to bite off the thread. So yeah,
that happened.
Also, too, that's kind of how I feel about match number 7, where we see the West Hollywood Blondes taking on Rick Steiner and Ernest the Cat Miller. Because guess what? Dog-faced gremlin.
And
Ernest the Cat. Dog and cat, guys.
I did put that together earlier, and I still hate that you told me about it.
Mind blown.
So, yeah, and also West Hollywood Bloods, I think they missed their musical cue.
Yeah.
Like, that was a little weird.
It took them longer to get to the ring than the match lasted.
Yeah, and this is like the kind of the beginning when Rick Steiner stopped looking like a jacked individual that could hurt somebody and looking more like the realtor and guy running for school board president that he's eventually now. Like this right here is the line where he goes from the guy who looks like he's touring with New Japan to a guy that just lives in Georgia somewhere. Like
selling cars, hanging out a car lot.
This is the turn to it, but where he turns into a man that has a cell phone attached to his belt loop
with a clip.
So.
Rick Steiner being Scott Steiner's brother.
Oh.
Related.
All coming together.
Not just a really
She's
clever
just like, there are
name.
so many guys named Steiner.
Yeah.
Amazing.
God, I wonder if they had to like get together on their names and be like, well, mine's spelled different.
And how about Ernest the Cat Miller just straight up attacking
Why?
Mark Madden?
I mean, I don't blame him. Good, I'm glad.
Yeah, but then like it was like there was no commentary for like 5 minutes after that. Like it was just dead air. You know, because it knocked over Jeremy Borash too, and you couldn't just save it. So
yeah,
that was weird and awkward.
But it was quick, and it was awesome because it was quick. So it was my favorite match.
Yeah, it balanced out that long ass one right before it.
Yeah. And then Lodi lives in Pineville.
No, that's crazy. Well, Lenny had by far the best pigtails of the
Oh,
whole
sure
group.
did. Sure did. Had some really good hair going.
And maybe the only pigtails of anybody
Yeah?
on the show.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of the starettes had pigtails.
Reno, not maybe one of those hookers. Reno had a ponytail. But that was about it. Just a ponytail in the middle of his bald head. And he had that.
Yeah, because pigtails are kind of big because this is not too far away from the Britney Spears Oops, I Did It Again video, I think. The schoolgirl.
You don't think you know.
I do know. I was trying to figure, but this is probably a little bit past that. It's probably closer to toxic than anything. I'm sorry. I'm going over Britney's discography.
Which
right
we
now.
can. Speaking of.
I'm messing up words, but I know Britney's discography.
Good side note. The only time we're going to get to talk about it, we haven't talked about it yet. You don't have to pay attention if you don't want to. Kesha's on tour again, and she's coming through in a couple months.
Oh,
So
my
we're gonna
girlfriend
need
has supposedly an in to go see Kesha. So, yeah.
So before she did all of her legal issues, we went to see Kesha every year that she came to town.
And I almost got an illegal issue that night.
Yeah.
So,
I rode a bike there, so.
Yeah, I should have. I should have known better. But yeah.
Unless you have like a love for Kesha that you haven't told us about, and you're welcome to here.
Welcome to what?
You're welcome to here. Yeah. Tell us about your love.
No, I
for
just
Kesha.
like her. She's cool.
You just like?
It's like.
Is she one of the starettes?
Oh man, I wish the show would have been completely different. This would have been a masterpiece. It should have taken more than 15 minutes to prepare.
We don't know. I mean, Andrew McManus must have known her very long
Might have
ago,
known her.
You know, who knows?
I like her. Doesn't she have a dollar sign on her name?
Yeah.
That is classy.
Ke, money sign, ha.
I like it.
This is true. Very much.
All right, back to what we were talking about. What was it?
All right. Let's go.
WWA.
Let's go back to the main event of this show, not the main event of our life.
No, let's just go back to Kesha and let's pretend like we talked about this.
Yeah, how about that? Because the match that we need to discuss right now is match number 8. Jeff Jarrett, the WWA champion, taking on Brian Christopher, who was handpicked by Bret Hart. I feel like they made that happen just so people wouldn't be mad. Like, well, Bret Hart picked Brian Christopher to wrestle Jeff Jarrett. I guess in a sense, since Jeff Jarrett is second generation wrestler, Brian Christopher second generation wrestler, I think it makes sense. Yada yada yada. But really,
I wonder if that was the initial reasoning, but would it have been the Road Dogg versus Jeff Jarrett in the main event, or
it was always supposed to be Savage.
was all
Road Dogg,
Savage, okay.
Road Dogg. I think you know what I went.
Savage also? No, he wasn't a second generation.
Yeah, he was.
Savage
Angelo
was?
Poffo.
Oh, Angelo, that's right. So yeah.
Angelo Poffo.
So there you go. I wonder if that would have been the story regardless.
Yeah, it probably would have too.
It probably was supposed to have been said that way, but Bret just fucked it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bret didn't care. He didn't give a shit. He was
I
getting
paid
paid
a lot of money.
He got paid a lot of money. He probably, and they also talked about there was autograph signings. Like this was basically
There was a fan fest the night before.
Yeah, this is no different than just a show that happens at a convention that we do a million times over, where the guys don't give a fuck and they're just like they got paid and they're just bowing, tipping their cat in the ring and get out. You know what I'm saying? Just like the fucking cat did his little fucking cat. Got out. Probably made $3,000 on autographs the night before, and then fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
And we set up and tore on the ring, got stiffed on money.
Exactly. We had to fucking job to Chronic. You know, like
in our Indian gear.
Yeah, like because they needed to beat up Indians.
Yeah.
And we had to get like Indian gear, and we bought it through High Spots, and it turned out like shit. And we just, it didn't matter because we only wrestled for 2 or 3 minutes. Chronic didn't want to take any of our fucking spots, so we just got
threw me on you. You didn't catch me.
Sorry, we're
tangents
and projecting a lot on this show. It didn't happen.
We're real jealous of your prom night comparatively.
That's all it is. We're just circling back around to that. But yeah, they do a Memphis Open in the main event.
Yeah. Second generation, motherfucker.
Oh, but I mean seriously, but it does pick up. Like you do the big brawl. They do all the stuff at the end, like little swerves, which I felt like that kind of worked a little bit. But it was weird though, because it's like, there's the ref drama, and then but it kind of sets up into the stroke onto the belt, and
what?
The stroke onto the belt.
That's the name of the move.
Oh, I thought you said under the belt. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's a different video that's online. I believe if you look up X Hamster,
that was
she's
pop over to xnxx.com and it's all mobile friendly.
Pornhub.
How do you spell that?
xnxx.com.
Thank
It's
you.
blue. You see the blue. You know you're there.
So, yeah, it's right there. But Yeah, I mean, perfectly fine once they do the swerves, and it's just weird. Also, too, Brian Christopher came off at a weird angle for that top rope leg drop. Like, that was just odd how he did that. But, like, it might have been a little bit more interesting if Brian Christopher had a few more drinks. You know? Like,
we could have only hoped.
It could have got really super weird real fast. But
What did you think about Grandmaster Sexay?
Grandmaster Sexay,
That's
Brian Christopher. Well, I did think that he had the best dance moves for the white guys. Best pajama pants and best wardrobe malfunction.
Oh, man.
Did you notice that?
Totally.
Which is a spot he still does today.
Was that on purpose?
Yes,
It was,
absolutely.
Right,
He does a little trick where he can unhook it, and then he does that. Oh, and nowadays, especially if he's a heel, he'll let it fall all the way down to his ankles. He'll trip over himself a little bit, and he'll kind of run around in his underwear for a little bit.
Well, I did not realize that was planned. That was very well done.
Oh, he's a pro. He's a pro at pulling his pants
Just
down.
to show off a little bit of dick in case somebody in the crowd's trying to go home with him.
Listen, that is
This is
something.
what I'm working with.
That's something that he learned from his father. Okay, like,
Whoa! What you do, son, is you shake your dick a little bit in the match. You'll be all right.
But I mean, it turned out okay. Like the fact that they had all the angles and the brawling in it, I guess, made it better. But it started off really fucking slow and whatever. I didn't expect anything from it, anyways.
Yeah.
It's just like this is the last fucking match I have to watch, and I'm done.
Thank God.
But yeah, I think this pay-per-view was priced at $19.95. Worth the money, guys.
I think it was worth money just to see the guy in the audience that gave Jeff Jarrett the beer, and he threw it in Brian's face, and then he just followed them down to the front of the ring, like, yeah, I'm part of this now. Did you notice that?
Me and my boy Jeff.
Yeah.
Well, it's better than what he did at Triple Mania, where he took a beer and just threw it in the crowd, and then he got hit by a beer can. So, but yeah, overall thoughts or discussions about this?
It wasn't bad. It was long as fuck. When I first turned it on, I just screamed 2.5 hours in my office, and that was looked at kind of odd for a moment.
Do you feel like they had a certain allotted time?
And they filled it all up because they did 3 different intro videos and 2 different segments where the girls were dancing.
I kind of feel like the tag match before the main event was supposed to be a little bit longer, and they cut it short. Like
they ate so much time on accident early.
Because I think it was like, you say 2.5 hours, but I think it was like 2:39. 2:39. So I don't know if they shut off right at 2:40, and like we have to get done because they wrapped up pretty quick afterwards. So I don't know, or they were, back then you had to pay per minute for pay-per-view. That
reminds me of prom night too.
Yes, God. Where did you go to school?
You
want to get back
Don't
in.
be jealous.
I'm so... Just fuck. An awful prom comparatively.
So did I.
Yeah.
Really awful prom. But now we're going to go on another tangent. Me and Zane are going to bitch about prom.
So here's what I fucking hate.
This is what I hate about proms. Lauren, just sit there, okay?
You
can talk about non-wrestling topics. Even though we have a non-wrestling fan in here who can contribute to our conversation. No, me and the wrestler are going to talk about this.
Right. We're going to talk about our non-prom experiences. Somebody's a prom expert over here.
Who did it right.
Yeah. With multiple, and I mean... Multiple people.
Well, that's what's so nice about dating high school guys.
Get older, they say the same age. Calm down, Jester.
Not creepy at all.
No.
That was a joke, people.
Whatever.
That was a joke.
That's where we found you. we were playing the same game.
Except not on as high a level.
Yeah. It's not as creepy when a woman says it, I'll be honest. It's a lot creepier when
I never thought it would be, but when she said it, it sounded creepy.
Disagree.
Alright.
We fucked up by talking about wrestling. We should just...
We did. We were
just let that go. This is great.
I didn't fuck up any words in that whole riff either. That was great. But overall, as a show, like I said, I feel like the big problem with the show was the false advertising and the start-stops of what the main event was going to be about. I think it's a perfectly fine show.
Yeah.
There's not a whole... I mean, this Andrew McManus guy, he gave guys money when 2 of the major companies were gone.
Yeah.
So people like to shit on him, but if anything, I'd like to thank him for putting money in probably good people's pockets and giving someone like an AJ Styles or Christopher Daniels or Shark Boy an opportunity.
Who 15 years later are more or less all champions in those major companies now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so like he put money in people's pockets. He gave exposure to guys that weren't getting it. Took care of somebody like Eddie Guerrero, opened the door to him after kind of WWE wanted to kind of wash their hands and distance himself away from him at that time because of all his demons. And he invited him in and was going to give him good matches and give him opportunities and stuff like that. So people like to shit on this, but so what? You know what I'm saying? This is if you look at this as a show. A promotion that's supposed to take on Vince McMahon, which I'm sure he probably felt at the time, But if you just look at this as
But who does it? Like every indie promoter thinks they're going to do it.
Yeah.
They're drawing 30 to 40 people.
But if you just okay, we're going to run a little fan fest, a meet and greet the night before, guys are going to make money there, and they're going to run this big show people are going to see, and you just look at it through that lens, which is what we see right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people, that's the formula for a lot of shows that I'm on. Like I said, when I say that Bret Hart, this promo sounded like something he cut at Big Time Wrestling or Northeast Wrestling, those shows are successful and they continue to do more shows in the future like that. They have meet and greets beforehand. They get a big star who doesn't wrestle anymore, cut a promo, and then you get young guys opportunities. You mix it in with guys that are established to do little things here and there. Listen, I've wrestled Boogeyman in 30 seconds. No different than what Lodi and Lenny Lane did. That's...
Did you bite anybody's butt?
I did not bite anybody's butt. I've had my butt bitten before.
By Shark Boy, probably.
Yes, actually, yeah. Multiple times by Shark Boy. Multiple times. So, but yeah, I mean, if you look at it through that lens, it's an alright show. Yeah. I don't know why people bitch about it. I guess people like to laugh and shit on somebody who tried to do something.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it, Lauren? Would you recommend it to anybody? Would you recommend
Absolutely.
it to... Absolutely.
I feel very strongly that anyone should watch this. If I had to sit through 2 hours and 39 minutes, you should too.
You're all going down with me.
Highly recommended.
So, what are your thoughts, Zane?
Yeah, fucking watch it. It's a lot better than some of the stuff we show you.
Yeah.
It's a lot better.
And also, it's a times capsule.
Yeah.
I think in early 2000s, I think it's important to look at that.
You see a lot of innovation.
Yeah.
Where a lot of things are now, you can see where it came from, and like we said, the very first match, and and then you can see that a lot of these guys are still doing the same old goddamn shtick they've been doing 15 years.
Exactly, and this is when it was hot or was popular, but also too, I guess this maybe kind of bridged the gap to TNA happening.
Yeah,
which I just got done recording an interview with Hermie Sadler, who's best friends with Jeff Jarrett and is on the board of directors of Global Force Wrestling, and we talked a lot about Jeff Jarrett and him starting his company, and you sit back and you think about it. You want to shit on Jeff Jarrett and TNA and all that stuff, but you sit back and you think about it, they started a company and they gave people opportunity to work, and sure, there's been bumps in the road, but we give opportunity for people to make money in professional wrestling when it all dried up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I look at this. And this is maybe the thing that got Jeff Jarrett thinking, hey, maybe I can do my own thing and do it this way and not do it like this guy. Mm-hmm. Where if Jeff Jarrett started in this spot, he might have made the same mistakes. But maybe, somebody else's money gave him the opportunity to do a little bit better. But anyways, anything else we got to discuss about the show before we wrap it up?
Anything left? You want to tell us any more cool ass stories about prom that we didn't get to fucking hear about already?
No, haters are gonna hate. I'm good.
Jerk off to this later, it's whatever.
Well, Lauren, how can people get in contact with you social media wise if they have any more queries or if they're looking for a prom date? How can they get in touch with you?
I am on Facebook. You can find me at my daytime job from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Otherwise,
we're gonna need an address here.
LinkedIn is actually
LinkedIn's the best way to get.
Whoa!
You are a freak.
What are you,
get out of here.
Are you 50? Jesus Christ! Never mind. Stay with those high schools.
I'm like Nova. I'm corporate right now.
She's no longer a cartoon character.
If you can find Jake Manning, I'm friends with Jake on Facebook, so you can connect me with me there if you want.
Judging by the lack of wrestling fans that I have, I'm very hard to find. So, Zane, this is going to be released this Thursday. Anything you want to let people know about?
Helping run a community festival for a fellow wrestler that's hit some hard times in Morehead City. That'll be Saturday. It's all donation. Everything is free. There will be a fun fest, live music, a wrestling show, all sorts of things for a local wrestler named Jagger whose wife had some health issues. Then the week after that, I will be doing a roast in Charlotte, and then the Sunday after that, I'll be roasted Jake Manning has said he was doing it, but I don't know if he remembers that or not.
Oh, I for sure remember it.
Okay, great.
Me and John Schuyler have talked about it.
Great.
Trying to formulate a strategy.
Good.
On what we're going to do. Strategy.
Strategery.
Fool
me again, you're not going to fool me twice.
Listen, early 2000 references is just making up words with strategy, you know?
Fucking, what a train wreck.
I know. My brain? Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. But yeah, I will be doing Raj's show in Cornelius at Studio 13 this Friday, like the day after the show comes out, if you listen to this in a timely fashion and you live in the Charlotte area. Also, too, I'll be in Winston-Salem for Lucha is the Future, I think.
Sure, why not? That might happen. Lucha is forever.
Lucha is forever?
Yeah.
I really feel bad because they've paid me in advance already. And
good, because I don't know if that show's actually going to happen.
I don't know.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then the week after that, I'll be for Vanguard Championship Wrestling next Saturday. So
nice.
Make sure you check that out.
Do you have any shows coming up? We just asked about your LinkedIn. We didn't really. And your appearances in place at
I am just
playgrounds.
getting started, but I do have a show with Jake at the Cabarrus Brewing Company later in September.
September 21st, if I'm not mistaken. It's
Yep.
the third Thursday of the month. Every third Thursday of the month, I run a show at Cabarrus Brewing Company. And Lauren was kind enough to grace her with her presence.
Super excited.
I will try and book as many high school boys to be in the
Say,
audience.
Do you have to be 21 and up to get in? There goes a fucking crowd, Lauren.
No, there's not, because we had a baby in the front row at the last show. So
that's a little bit too young.
Watch out, kid.
I do have some standards.
You got your pre-K prom.
Okay. We do have that. But as always, guys, if I need to correct something or feel like, hey, you need to get your shit together, please feel free to tweet me at ManScoutManning or email me at jake@sslshow.com. Make sure you check out the website, howdidthisgetbooked.com. That's where we have How Did This Get Booked t-shirts, as well as information about upcoming shows and what we're going to be talking about next on the program. Also, too, that's where my own personal merch is. If you want Man Scout Manning t-shirts or Under for Life t-shirts, I'm just about ready to post those here in the next couple of days. But as always, guys, make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, SoundCloud, and please write a review. As always, thank you again for Never Will Be for writing a review. I will say your name from here until the next time somebody writes a review on iTunes. That's what you can promise here. So that's how badly we need reviews, that I am plugging somebody for the millionth time. So please make sure you leave a review and also subscribe on all of the platforms wherever you get your podcasts. But this has been another edition of How Did This Get Booked?
Ha ha!